Good morning everybody, this is South Wigston Driving Test Routes and this is driving test route number 8 of 15. Just coming out of the test centre car park, we're turning left towards Saffron Road, and when we get to the roundabout here we're going to be turning right onto Saffron Road. You can see at the moment it's blocked up, so we're just going to wait here because we can't get all the way around without blocking up the traffic. There is some temporary lights down at the end of Saffron Road, and let's see, can we move in now? More or less. I'm just concerned about the white car there. Yeah, we can move in now. They should move on. We're turning right. It's taking us all the way to the end of Saffron Road here. Now what I'm going to do now, because there's temporary lights and we're just going to go to the end of the road and turn right at the traffic lights, I'm just going to turn the camera off and then turn it back on again when we get back down there. So here we are, we've come to the end of the traffic, the temporary lights. It took 10 minutes to get to here, just over 10 minutes. But we're turning right from Saffron Road into Little Glen Road, and this is still a 30-mile-an-hour road. Now if you want to see the rest of these videos about the test routes in South Wigston, just click the subscribe button and you'll find them all there. Also, if you want to leave a comment, please do, or leave a like, whatever you want to do, that's fine. We're going to be turning left in a few seconds, so we're on Little Glen Road now. I'm going to turn left here, and this takes us into Windsor Avenue. Now this is a first gear corner, so be careful of this one, it's quite tight. Just to keep yourself on the left hand side of the road. You will see this entire route listed out in the description, so if you have a look there in the description, you'll see everything you need to know. And of course you can copy and paste that, whatever you want to do with it, that's fine. We're just following this road round. It's taken us into Richmond Road. There is someone kind of double parked in front of us, although he is getting into his car and it looks like he's going to just drive straight off, so not too much of a problem. I'm just going quite slow to give him time to get moving. There he goes. He's actually going quite slow now. I wonder if he's going to pull in and park somewhere. There you go. He's just moved out of our way basically. So we're following this Richmond Road round. It bends round to the right here. Keep yourself well into the left. We're going to come to the end of it. When we get to the end, we're going to turn left. Now what you may have done, Richmond Drive, not Richmond Road, what you may have done is you may have done some parallel parking along there somewhere. But it's brought you back out here onto Little Glen Road, and we're coming away from Saffron Lane really, and we're coming down towards Blaby as we travel along here. Mini roundabout, just make sure it's clear. It is. Over the humpback bridge. It's not really a humpback bridge, it's just, I suppose it is a little bit of a one. It doesn't do that thing to your stomach though. I'm going to follow this road down. There's another mini roundabout now, and again we're just going to follow the road, following this road all the way to the end. Just make sure it's clear on the mini roundabout. It is. This Little Glen Road, this is all a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and you can see there's a sign there that says there's cameras. Now I've not seen a permanent camera, so they must be putting vans down here every now and again. This bit is a bit of a chicane. I'm just going to drop the car into second gear just to make sure we keep well away from the curbs. There's curbs in the middle of the road there, and you'll notice that they've all got kind of chips in them where people have got them wrong, where people have got their route through it wrong. Again, we're going to take our time to go through this bit as well. Coming back out here. Still a 30 zone. Still remembering that we saw the sign there which said, you know, the speed cameras. So the van could be parked anywhere down here, couldn't it? Really? It's not today, thankfully, but you know, we don't want to get caught out by that, really. So we'll just keep the speed nice and steady. Doing a steady 28 at the moment. There's nobody behind us. It's not a big deal. We're going to turn left when we get to the end of the road here, where the traffic lights are. Running behind the police car. We're going to film the police. Hot topic just now. Anyway, there we are. So we're gonna be turning left at the traffic lights when they go to green, which they are doing now. That brings us into Leicester Road. We're not going towards Leicester, we're driving away from it. Again down towards Blaby. When we get down here, we can see there's a roundabout. We'll go under the railway bridge, and then there's a roundabout. And we're just going to be going left at the roundabout, so it's nice and easy. Just turning left at this roundabout, keeping well tucked into the left hand side, making sure that it's clear on the roundabout itself, which it is again for us. We can carry on. The bus seems to be parked there, not moving on, so we're all right. We're coming up to another mini roundabout again now. At this roundabout we're going to go more or less straight ahead, but I suppose it's a right turn. We'll stay on this road basically. All seems to be okay. That Mercedes has decided to wait. We don't want to run this fella over. Is he alright? Yep, he's fine. He's just struggling to get in his car with his coffee. We're going to turn right then when we get to the traffic lights, the next set of lights. So we're in Blaby, we're on Leicester Road, and we're turning right into Enderby Road. People queuing up at the post office there, keeping their social distance, 2 metres apart. So that's all good, isn't it? I did go to Morrison's at the weekend, and they made us queue up like they are at this post office here, 2 metres apart, before we got in. Then when you got in, people were just milling around all over the place. So, you know, it's a bit silly really. But anyway, there we go, Enderby Road. You can see people queuing up for the bank there as well, just keeping their distance. So they're all behaving quite well. Looking down the road, we can see there's a white car, and he's going to pull over a little bit and let us through. He's done that. Thank you very much. There's a black one. There's all cars parked on the opposite side of the road, so it makes this road quite narrow really in parts. As we come down towards the end of this Enderby Road though, we're going to go straight ahead at the roundabout, and that's going to be the second exit. So we need to approach this one in the left hand lane, because that's the straight ahead lane, and at this time we're going to need to just pause for a few seconds while we let the roundabout clear enough for us to go onto it. There's no lane markings here, but keep yourself well over to the left and then let people know where you're going to come off. So Enderby Road. Now we've come into Enderby Road, we're going to take the next road on the left, which is going to take us into, I suppose we're in Wigston now, but it's going to take us further into Wigston, into Trinity Road. And again, this is a first gear corner. So again, to keep yourself on the left hand side of the road here, just use first gear. I'm looking up the road though, and there's a blue car that's coming through here. I'm just going to give him more room than he needs to get through. So I'm going to wait here. So I'm going to check in my mirror, make sure that no one's overtaking me, and I'm going to carry on. So, you know, we saw that blue car from a little way back, and the basic thing here is that, you know, the earlier you deal with it, with things like that, the easier they become. And the easier they become, then the bigger, the higher chance you have of passing the actual test. So see things early, look well ahead, see things early. We're going to turn right now from this Trinity Road into Attfield Drive. Quite a bumpy road, really. And you can see here along Attfield Drive, there's a few opportunities really to do parallel parking. There's one just here. There's also opportunities to pull in on the opposite side of the road, on the right hand side, and reverse back a couple of car lengths. You'll see that as we get around the next couple of bends along this bit here. Look, also they may ask you to do an emergency stop or a you know, controlled stop along this road. Just going to go past. My dad used to live up that road. Oh, well, I say my dad, I mean my mum and dad, don't I, really? Anyway, we're going to follow this road round. It bends round to the right, and we need to keep well into the left. You will see people just cut this bend right off. That's a fail. Keep well into the left as you go around it. Very dangerous thing to cut that bend off. I'm going to turn left at the end. So we're on Attfield Road, and we're turning left at the very end. There's a mini roundabout, and this is where we are at the moment. And it brings us in to, I think it's called Brook Street, this one, although I will confirm that with you in a few seconds. There's a roundabout just along here. We're not beyond Brook Street for very long. There's a roundabout here, and we're going to go straight ahead, second exit. Again, we're going to approach it in the left-hand lane. It is called Brook Street. Again, we're clear for us. We're keeping well into the left, even though there's no lane markings. And then we're going to come off along here into Burnham Drive. Burnham Drive's another long road. It's kind of bends and twists. Again, we're going to keep as much into the left as we can. Obviously, I need to move out to go around the white van. We can get back into the left as soon as it is appropriate. I'm going to follow this road along, and again here you can see there's opportunities to do all sorts of different manoeuvres along here. It's not the busiest road in the world, and also there's lots of kind of cars that are parked and gaps in the parked cars. Again, we're going to keep well into the left on the right hand bend. I'm going to move back into the left as soon as I can here. That's it. We're going to get to the end of this road, and we're going to turn left when we get to the end then. So we're on Burnham Drive, and we're turning left at the end of it into Laundon Way. All seems to be fairly clear. Just bringing us around here again. Again, you can see how bendy these roads are and how often they bend around in the way that's, you know, that's going to catch you out if you're not careful. We're going to turn left when we get to the end of this road here, Laundon Way. We're going to turn left when we get to the end, and that brings us on to a much wider road now as we come up towards the roundabout. Which again we're going to turn left. That's lots of left turns on this route at the moment. Going left at the roundabout, which brings us actually onto the Blaby Bypass. Now the thing about the Blaby Bypass is you have to be really careful about the speed. The speed limit now is 50. Up to that point it was only 30. You have to be careful there. And now that we've seen that it's 50, we must get a move on if it's clear and safe. But actually, as we come down to the next roundabout, which we will be going straight ahead at, as we're coming down to it, what we'll see is quite sure it changes back to 30. We must make sure that we've got to speed down to 30 or below before we get to those signs. So we're going straight out, taking the second exit. And on this one there are all lane markings, so we're just going to stay in the left lane. Just let everybody know that we're coming down, and we're going to turn off at this one. And again here it's 30 at the moment, you know, on the Blaby Bypass it's still 30, it's still 30, and now it becomes 50, and now we can speed up. So there's a reason they bring you on these roads, and that's one of them, to see if you'll stick to the speed limits, and also to see if you've seen the speed limits, you know what it means. And again, as we come down to the next roundabout here, the very same thing happens. The speed limit changes to 30, but it's not on the roundabout, it's quite a bit short of that. So we're going to get the speed down. And make sure we're staying in the left lane. We're going straight ahead at this roundabout here, but it's not the second exit, it's the third one. So that's the first exit, and that one's the second into the industrial estate, and this is the third one. So again 30, now 50. So there's another roundabout coming up now. And so what we're going to do is turn right at that roundabout. So the first thing I need to do is change into that right hand lane. I've seen the speed limit sign again. I'm making sure that I'm not doing above 30 as I pass the signs. Because we're going right at this roundabout, we're in the right hand lane on approach. It does say slow, so there's an extra warning. All seems to be quite clear. Can be quite busy, this one. This is taking us back into Blaby and back onto the Leicester Road, and that bus is still there. So there you go. We were right, it wasn't moving. It must be on his T-brake or something. Good for him. Alright, so there's a mini roundabout coming up, and we've been through this one already once. We went straight ahead before. This time we're going left. That bus is coming straight on, that means he's a blocker, we're fine. And this is Sycamore, and I wish I could remember if it's Sycamore Road or Sycamore Drive, but it's Sycamore something. And we're just going to follow this road all the way along. Again, it's quite a long road. Now, this is a long road, and it's also fairly busy. It's not a quiet road by any means. And you'll see all along here, you can see where there's double yellow lines where you can't park. But in this little lay-by here, you can actually park your car. And so you may be asked to pull in there and then just pull away again. So have a look at that. You know, if you're out with your instructor or whoever it is that's helping you, have a look at that, because it's it looks quite, you know, almost nothing. But it's not, it's very busy. And they'll do the same thing here as well. They'll get you to pull over and pull away again. And well, you can see how narrow it is, and how those cars are all parked on the pavement. But you can't do that, can you, on your test? So, you know, you're going to be in the way of somebody, and there's 4 cars behind us, even though we're doing the speed limit. So now we're going to turn left when we get to the roundabout here. A mini roundabout, and that's going to take us into Hospital Lane. And the thing to remember about Hospital Lane, again, we're still at 30, we're still at a 30-mile-an-hour limit until we get past the schools. There's a school on your what's that side, that left on your left hand side. We've got past the schools, and we can now see the sign, the national speed limit sign, which is the white disc with the black diagonal band. As we get past those, then the speed limit changes again, and it's a single carriageway road. You know, it's a national speed limit, so what is it? 60. So along here, what you need to do is you need to show that you're confident enough to do that speed. Now today we have someone in front of us who is sticking at a steady 42. There's no way we can overtake him, so we're just going to maintain this gap. But if he wasn't there, what you would have to do on your test is get your speed up and show that you're confident enough. Not on the bends, not where it says slow, but where it's appropriate, get yourself moving. He's slowed down even more now, he's at 34, so he's slowed down by 8 miles, and that's how that gap closed down. I'm just going to let him go again. I don't want to get too close to him, not for social distancing or anything like that, you understand, but more just because, you know, if he brakes hard, I don't want to rear end him. Gives me plenty of reaction time, basically. This is Hospital Lane in Blaby. It's actually between Blaby and Wigston is where it is. So you can get to one from the other. And when we come to the end of it, then we're going to turn left, and this is where these traffic lights are. And you can see the speed limit now has changed back to from a 60 down to a 40. And so we know that as we get back onto the road here where we turn left, which is, it looks like Leicester Road. I didn't think that was called Leicester Road. I thought it was Countersort Road. Never mind. When we get back onto the road there, it means that we're at 40. Because you won't see any speed limit signs. So it's changed just behind us. And we're coming up to the lights here, and we're turning left. And we can't see any more speed limit signs. So that tells us that it's still 40. And now, actually, now I've said that, we've got a little way down the road, it changes back up to 60. And I imagine that the fella in front of us is going to do a steady 42, and that's going to be fine. And actually he's doing a steady 37 on this one. So it's what you want though, really, if you think about it. When you're on your test, you want things to slow down a little bit, don't you? So you can, you know, get more reaction time, more time to see what's going on. So if you do get this, you know, this type of situation, then it's only a bonus and it's helping you out. So that's the way to look at it, really. We're coming into a bend. I'm just going to ease off as we come into the bend here. Take it nice and steady. There's a hookback bridge, and there's a bend just after. Like that, it takes us through. And we're coming back into where there's all houses and things, so the speed limit's gone back down to 30 again now. I would take this bend coming up here in third gear, don't take it any higher than that, just take your time around it, and then it's going to be the next right, which is going to take us into Canal Street. Quite easy to cut the corner there as you turn into Canal Street, so do bear that in mind and try and make sure that that doesn't happen. I'm just waiting back here again now because I'm giving this lorry in front of us more room than he needs. It looks like he's turning off though into the McVitie's place, so I'll just wait here for a few seconds because I can see there's a traffic queue behind him as well. I'm not quite sure what's there, which just cause I think we can fit through, so we'll be fine. So this is Canal Street. As we look further down the road, we can see there's another bus there that seems to have stopped. All the buses seem to have stopped being on their T-brake at this moment in time. I'm just going to hang back a little bit actually because there's a bike that wants to come through. It's not the biggest space, so I'm giving him again more room than he needs to let him through. And what happens then is I end up with more room than I need. Let the blue car come through as well. Another wave, thank you. And then I end up with all the room. and so it's a win-win. I'm going to make sure I give the bus a good wide berth. I know there's no one getting on and off it at the moment, but you never know who's going to step out from behind it, do you? I'm going to turn left when we get to the end of the road here, which again is a mini roundabout. Takes us on to Blaby Road. This is going to be Blaby Road in Wigston. The lights are on red here. So one thing to note here is, again, there's the temporary lights. We've got back to where the temporary lights were before. We're approaching them from a different angle though. So again, what I'll do is I'll just turn the camera off for a few seconds just while I get through these temporary lights, because it's going to be a bit bad for you just looking at the back end of this car. So here we are then, we're at the temporary lights now. We've made it to the front. We're the lead car, so I got caught by the red light there, and we're just going to wait for them to change. It shouldn't be too long before it changes in our favour. Certainly it's gone through the kind of circle that it goes through. Just remember, you know, if you want to see the other test routes in this series, all the test routes for South Wigston, just click the subscribe button. You will find them all there on the channel. There's other things on the channel as well to do with the pork pie island, for instance, which this route hasn't taken in today, has it really, the pork pie? Not at all. And you know, other bits and pieces that you can see on that channel. And these lights are now changed in our favour, so we're away. We're on Blaby Road, and we're going to turn right now into Saffron Road. I don't know why I keep saying Saffron Way. Saffron Road. There it is. I don't know what they're digging up or what they're doing there, but it's obviously important. And this, if you look on the right hand side of the screen, you'll see the traffic queue that we were caught in earlier. It took 10 minutes to get through, and nightmare for everybody really. There we go. It's Saffron Way. You're at Saffron Lane. You'll notice Saffron Road. You'll notice that we're coming to the back up towards the test centre now, or back up to Tigers Road where the test centre is. And as we get to this where it says Paragon, we're going to turn left, or we're going to indicate for left, and we're going to turn left then into Tigers Road, which is where the test centre is, obviously. And that really is test route number 8. We've just